I'm Wesley. I'm doing something a little different this morning. We're going to go through on a video-based version of our 2015 Countdown to Church Growth. We got a top 10 items that we're going to walk through. Myself and the intern, Matt Atterbury, is going to walk through the 10 items that we need to do in 2015 for church growth. We decided to go this way because there's too many times that we don't know where to start. So now we've got 10 items each person can do every day in small increments, and we'll grow this church in 2015.
All right, number 10 is 1,000 in outside support. And me here and the little drummer boy here are going to explain that to you. What we're looking for is either 10 donors to give $100, 100 donors to give $10, whatever we can do to get 1,000 in outside support. We're a church start, we're a church plant. And one of the things that a church plant, church start looks for is outside support as the ministry grows. So number 10 is looking for 1,000 in outside support.
So number 9, we're asking for 9 new families this year. Very simple, straightforward. The rest of the countdown we're going to talk about how we're going to get those 9 new families, but that's it. 12 months, 9 families. So this time next year, let's have 9 new families at Thanksgiving. We're calling the ministry team doorways. This is an innovative approach where you're trying to get somebody to come out to one of your ministry teams. For instance, the women. They've got several folks that come just to the women's meetings, which is still an awesome thing to have because we are a church plant and we're trying to grow our mission of being God's people. And so if you can get people just to come to those things, then that will add as an entry level to the church itself on Sundays. Up here, as you walk into the church every Sunday, we have the mission team breakouts. So as we add people to that, wouldn't it be cool to add some new names to those teams? Heard a funny story one time. A guy was printing the bulletin at the church in California, and he kept saying, "I'm not coming to church. I'm not coming to church." "Yeah, I'll help you with your bulletin." So I helped you with your bulletin. Showed up at church. "I'm not going to stay at this church. I just want to see what the bulletin's doing." Next thing you know, the guy's an elder in the church. All it started with was asking his help with printing the bulletin every week, and it ended up being an elder that stayed in the church for a very long time. We can do this. Get people to come to other things, not just Sunday mornings, but get people to come to your missions and things that you're passionate about, that you're excited to talk about. Let's move on to number 7.
Hey again, it's your intern here. Just checking out our awesome tree. Number 7 is going to be asking families within our church to give $5 extra in their offering. That's one fast food meal. That's one special cup of coffee. That's one car wash. Just one thing. That $5 will add up. It will help support our ministry. It will help support our outreach. It will give us more resources so that we can reach the community. So number 7 families, $5 more a week. Number 6 is what we call the 3x2 mission partners. Now, we're a church start, a church plant. We were a mission. A lot of people go on mission trips. Many of us in this congregation have been on mission trips. But sometimes people don't have the ability to go to a foreign country or have the means to leave for a month from work, but they still want to be a part of missions. Well, this 3x2 plan gives those families an opportunity. The 3x2 plan is 2 families going on a 3-month mission trip to our church. They come to our church, they take part in the activities, they come to worship, they come to the events, they give their tithes and offerings, they come and they are a part of this mission. Now hopefully, Lord willing, that some of these people may want to continue to worship with us. But the point is that we are reaching out to the community and getting others involved so that they can do a mission and they can see what Connections Presbyterian is about. So number 6, the 3x2 plan, mission partners.
Hey, it's me again, sitting over here at Fred's keyboard. I appreciate you letting me borrow it, Fred. Number 5 is the most wanted. This is the most important one that that we as Christians can do. We're asking you to pray for 5 people to come to Christ. Ultimately, all the things that we do to grow our church are important, but of the utmost important is bringing people to Christ. So number 5, we want to bring 5 people. We want to pray that 5 people come to Christ. And if we get in that mindset of praying for that with our children, with our families, and every night, then that's the ultimate reward, is bringing people to Christ.
All right, number 4 is new ministry teams. 4 new ministry teams. We've got the youth ministry team, the men's ministry team, the Christian education ministry team, and the growth ministry team. We have our ministry team breakdown, and it's a wonderful thing. This church has got so much pride in those ministry teams. These 4 new ministry teams, just like we talked about earlier about how ministry teams are doors to come into the church, these new ministry teams are going to provide even more doors coming into the church. The youth ministry team, working with our growing youth. The men's ministry team, focusing on men and things that men deal with. The Christian education team, developing a program that we can have a great setup for Christian education. And growth, which is one of the things we're doing right now with this video. The growth ministry team, seeking to grow this church. So number 4 is the 4 new ministry teams.
Number 3 is an awesome little thing. We're going to ask you to go 3 times each week for a reference to God and church. It doesn't necessarily have to be a reference about Connections Presbyterian Church. It doesn't necessarily have to be come to my church. We're just asking you to get more comfortable with talking to people about God and church. In the grocery store, at work, people passing you down the hall, they're asking for communications on this, and it allows you to become better at talking to people. And then if you start with the talking about God and church, then maybe they'll want to come see our church. So number 3, 3 times each week, just randomly talk to somebody about God and church.
Oh hey, this is Matt, your intern. Just doing a little studying here, looking at our hymnal. We're doing the countdown to church growth right now, and we're on number 2. And a lot of times this one may scare people, but it's a lot easier than you think. Number 2 is just introducing yourself to someone new each week. A lot of us work in locations where there are a lot of people. Some of us go to the grocery store where there are a lot of people. Some of us go to the library. There's always an opportunity to introduce yourself to somebody. My oldest, David, little kid, has no problem just turning to somebody and saying, "Hi, I'm David." That's it. That's all it takes. "Hi, I'm Matt. Hi, I'm insert your name." It's really, really easy. And the more and more that we do this, the more and more we introduce ourselves, the more comfortable we get, the easier it will get to strike up conversations with people. So remember, number 2 is introducing yourself to new people. Number 1, invitations to church per week. Look at all these seats. Now on a Sunday morning we can have quite a few people in these seats, but we have a whole area in this sanctuary where we can put more seats, where we can fill up the seats that we have. Number 1 is 1 invitation to church per week. Now, as we talked about introductions to people, talking to people, putting references to God and church in your conversation, as those things happen, inviting 1 family, 1 person to church each week will become even that easier for you. So look at these seats. All these seats in this sanctuary. When our pastor or whoever is speaking that day comes up to here, what a joy it would be to have this entire place just absolutely max packed full of people. And that leads us to 0. 0 on our countdown is 0 excuses. 0. None. Zilch. Nada. No excuses. The only way that we're going to grow is if we are willing to accept no excuses. Every single one of us have to have a passion, have to have a desire, be on fire to share the love of Christ with others. And so when our countdown goes from 10 to 1, we end at 0. And that 0 is no excuses. There's no excuse for any of us to not be able to do one of these things on that list. There's one thing, on that countdown that each and every one of us can do. If we can do 2, if we can do 3, if we can try to do them all, just imagine what can happen. There are no excuses that we can't attack this new year and that we can't take this countdown list and see what the Lord has in store for Connections Presbyterian Church.